Hello, again. Okay, so, regarding the Tron Uprising reviews, I was going to get this one out of the way quick. Then I'm going to watch the next one so I don't get behind on them like I am on Transformers Prime, but even though I might be able to catch up on Transformers Prime since I'm still way behind on it. I'm not behind on that one, and I think the series appears to be taking a break for a bit since it aired a bunch of episodes already, and we have the two of the series I was covering having had take because I haven't seen some finales. I think I have one more finale I get to. So this first minute or so that just clears up what I have. If any other product I have. So without further ado, let's do Tron Uprising episodes 2 and 3 review. The two-part episode, the Renegade. So it seems that that sneak preview that was officially the first episode they had. So we're picking up right from that. And well, where Beck, voiced by Elijah Wood, is having a double life as both the mechanic and his area on the grid, as well as training under Tron, voiced by Bruce Boxleitner on the Outlands, and he's taking on. In effect, I think it's set between the two movies, so it's before Tron gets taken over and becomes Rinsler, but in that he's sort of grooming Beck to be his successor. So at Beck's request, yes. And Tesla is not happy about how the vandalism of the Clo statue, not vandalism, it was completely destroyed. And essentially, what Tesla is doing throughout these two episodes is rounding up people on the grid to participate in the games, which that's now how as a legacy they've been turned into a blood sport. Well, not blood. It's more like data. They just shatter into raw data when they get destroyed, or as it were, de-resed. Yes, it's a particularly nerdy term there. So I think, and even though, and it turns out that Beck's friends and Zeke, I don't know who voices him, Amala, who's voiced by Mandy Moore, go to a club. It's not the end of line, but it's definitely similar a situation where Zeke meets this woman and there. It's essentially, I think, in a sense, and also get to see more of the light cycle design from the original movie. They divided, but I think in classic vehicles, whether they're in real life or in a show, to have a certain appeal. Naturally, about this biker woman, this woman turns out to belong to this digital biker gang, and in fact she leads it. And she just sort of steals the light cycle, and then this first part of this episode is going to be talking about part 1. So, and Beck does get captured, and sent into the games. So we essentially go into, since the light cycle battle is mostly taking place on the streets into the grid right now, we instead, most of the battles are taking place at the Disc Wars. So we have and I think even though there's not, I think essentially what we call a move shirt, a lot of the people we see capturing it, taking the Disc Wars, that they get built up enough to get enough development to get an attachment to them, but not quite enough for us to be a regular character. I mean, that essentially just a bunch of pixels on the pavement. But this one, and that Beck act really does want a partnership with it. It is. I don't quite have his name, but things seem to appear to be a lot of black programs on the grid in this adaptation, and and I really, and they've essentially formed this whole partnership with him, and it's definitely, sorry, today was kind of hot. Definitely a time of year in Oregon where it's rainy and hot at the same time, and so you're essentially sweating like, hanging like a meatloaf under your hoodie, but it's still raining. Okay, I'm getting off track. So, anyway, that's about covers part 1. I'm gonna stop this recording here for a moment, put an edit in there, so I can talk about, and catch up, so I can talk about part 2. Sorry. My summer cold appears to have rebounded, and my cold seems to have rebounded in the summer cold. I mean, why is it that my productivity started picking up? I've been having intermittent head colds right here, and I can't get this cough drop open. Yeah, hold on. There. Now, getting into part 2, and once again the counter. My camera's not going. I'm just gonna keep talking. So, what happens when, and back in one of this black program, they come to a corner of the games where they're sort of forced to face each other, and it turns out they don't want to fight each other. So what Tesla does, he has this wall closing on them, and then I'm saying that if one of them has to be freed, they must face each other. Yeah. Even though he tries to kill, even though he wants to make a bit appearance of a benevolent leader, but I think with the feeling that Tesla definitely would have killed them both if he had given the chance. That's without a doubt. Sorry, derezzed him. Okay. So Beck is freed. The black program and comes captured and sentenced to be derezzed. And once again, Beck takes up with all the Renegade, because even though apparently in this part of the universe, even though Tron hasn't officially become Winslow yet, and everyone's under the impression that he's dead, and so them seeing him back to take up his guise is a bit of a shock. And then we get back to Zeke and Mala and trying to recover the classic light cycle, and they come across some person's bike again. I mean, think in the movies just kept to a basic scheme of blue for the good programs and red for the bad ones. And now that technology, I mean, at least how it was in the original movie. I mean, now that technology's gotten a lot better. They've getting shades of green, and orange, and yellow. And we're also getting some vibrant pinks and purples now that we're getting into the show. I mean, I'm really liking this whole 2D, 3D hybrid animation. I mean, and they had troubles with it with Spears Next Generation. I mean, Aeon Flux, I can't really include that because there's Infancy and Dragon Booster. You kind of forgot that was a show, didn't you? No. But it's clear that this is not a cheap attempt at cash Maggie and John work. It's an expensive one. And really liking how they had decided to go. I mean, the angles, the lighting, and the colors. Because I mean, in fact, they really just made the characters move really naturally. And you can't even, and switching between its two styles is quite seamless. I haven't really noticed any errors yet. I don't think I will. So they recover the light cycle, and then it leads into back as the Renegade fleet, and finding the captured programs and freeing them. Then it's conflict that with Tesla's aid on these light jet skis, these light ski boats. I mean, I don't know what they're called exactly. I mean, the vehicles I've recognized so far are the light cycles, the rectifiers, which are these giant flying craft, and the tanks as well. Well, so, anyway, Beck manages to successfully free him, and once they get a light cycle covered, Zeke is all freaking out. I mean, yeah, because their boss, because keep in mind, they're still essentially working class programs here, and being tinkerers. I mean, don't really know not much about the subject, but I respect that profession. But Beck fixes the bike, and Gub helps hiding all evidence of the thing. But then Zeke knocks, the boss is alright with it, and then Zeke knocks it over just to end it. I'll let you know. But that was one of the few complaints I have with this thing, because as the Tron Legacy was definitely one of the darkest films that's been released in the Disney label in recent years. And it looks like this Uprising is continuing that tradition. And it's definitely, even though it's rated T by 7, it's definitely the same thing as Transformers Prime, which I'm quite behind on, as well as new Thundercats, and that it's really trying to be this really thematic adult story, as well as it has catering to the children it's aiming for. I'm really looking. Okay, so when I'm done with this, gonna watch the most recent episode, get that out. Also have the Legend of Korra finale on the table I need to get to work on. Got a discussion, I still haven't recorded yet. And there's also one more episode of this, and I'll officially be caught up on Tron Uprising. So, going to enter my verdict. Going to give this two-parter a strong 3.5 out of 4 stars. Man, that's all I have to say. Be looking forward to see what they'll do with the series. Leave your comments below, and I shall see you later.